Oskar Schindler, the man who saved 1,000 lives. Oskar Schindler was not born a hero, nor did he begin his life as one. He was a man of contradictions, charming yet opportunistic, shrewd yet flawed. But during one of history's darkest periods, this German businessman defied the odds, risking everything to save over 1,200 Jewish lives from the horrors of the Holocaust. His journey from self-interest to selflessness remains a powerful testament to the potential for redemption and the strength of the human spirit. Schindler's early years. Oskar Schindler was born on April 28, 1908, in Svitov, Moravia, then part of the Austro-Hungarian Empire, now in the Czech Republic. Schindler, the son of a factory owner, grew up in relative comfort. His childhood was marked by his outgoing personality, love for adventure, and a knack for building relationships. However, his early life was also shaped by turbulence. His parents' marriage ended in divorce, and the family business eventually collapsed, leaving young Schindler to fend for himself. As a young man, Schindler sought thrills and wealth. He was known for his charisma, love of parties, and willingness to take risks, but he lacked a clear direction in life. His early ventures included selling farm equipment and dabbling in other businesses, but these endeavors brought him little success. When the Nazi Party rose to power in Germany in the 1930s, Schindler saw an opportunity. He joined the Nazi Party, not out of ideological conviction, but because it offered advantages for an ambitious businessman. His charm and adaptability made him a useful ally to the Nazis, particularly after Germany's invasion of Poland in 1939. A new beginning in Krakow. When Germany occupied Poland, Schindler moved to Krakow, a city that quickly became a center of Nazi activity. Using his connections, he acquired an enamelware factory previously owned by Jewish businessmen. Schindler renamed it Deutsche Emalwarenfabrik, DEF, and began producing pots, pans, and other goods for the German military. At first, Schindler's focus was purely financial. He took advantage of Jewish labor because it was cheap, as the Nazis forced Jews to work for little or no pay. Many of his workers came from the nearby Kraków Ghetto, a crowded and brutal environment where tens of thousands of Jews were confined. Schindler was known among his peers as a shrewd operator who enjoyed his newfound wealth. He lived a life of luxury, mingling with Nazi officials and throwing lavish parties. Yet, even as he enjoyed his success, he began to witness the horrific realities of Nazi oppression. A transformation begins. Schindler's transformation from opportunist to savior was gradual but profound. Working closely with Jewish employees, he began to hear first-hand accounts of the atrocities they faced. He saw families torn apart, homes destroyed, and lives reduced to mere survival. The turning point came in 1943 during the liquidation of the Kraków Ghetto. Schindler watched from a hilltop as Nazi soldiers violently emptied the ghetto, forcing thousands of Jews onto trains bound for concentration camps. He witnessed children being torn from their parents, elderly individuals shot in the streets, and chaos that left an indelible mark on his soul. Among the horrors, he saw a young girl in a red coat wandering through the chaos, a haunting image that symbolized the innocence destroyed by the Holocaust. After that day, Schindler could no longer stand idly by. His factory became more than a business, it became a refuge. Schindler's List, a lifeline amid horror. Schindler began to use his wealth and influence to protect his Jewish workers. He argued to Nazi officials that his factory produced goods essential to the war effort, making his workers indispensable. To support his claims, he compiled a list of names, Schindler's List, consisting of over 1,200 Jews who were designated as essential workers. This list was a lifeline. Those on it were spared from deportation to extermination camps. Schindler did not stop at mere documentation. He went to extraordinary lengths to keep his workers safe. He bribed Nazi officials, paid exorbitant sums to secure food and supplies, and even sabotaged his own products, ensuring that the ammunition produced in his factory was faulty and unusable. The factory in Brünnlitz. As the war neared its end and the Red Army advanced, Schindler moved his factory to Brünnlitz, in what is now the Czech Republic. This relocation was fraught with danger. as transporting hundreds of Jewish workers across Nazi-controlled territory required careful negotiation and substantial bribery. At Brünnlitz, Schindler continued his efforts to protect his workers. He provided them with extra food, clothing, and medical care, often at great personal expense. Despite the worsening conditions of the war, his factory became a haven where Jewish lives were preserved amid the chaos. War's end. Schindler's farewell. In May 1945, as the Nazis surrendered, Schindler's workers were finally free. On the eve of liberation, the workers presented him with a letter describing his heroic actions, along with a gold ring inscribed with a Talmudic phrase, "Whoever saves one life saves the world entire." Though hailed as a savior by his workers, Schindler's association with the Nazi Party made him a fugitive. He fled westward with his wife, Emily, narrowly avoiding capture by Soviet forces. The workers he had saved ensured his escape by providing him with food and protection during his journey. A difficult post-war life. Schindler's post-war life was marked by struggle. His wealth had been exhausted during the war, and his business ventures failed repeatedly. He emigrated to Argentina with Emily, but their ventures there also ended in bankruptcy. The couple eventually separated, and Schindler returned to Germany, living modestly and relying on financial support from Jewish organizations and individuals he had saved. Despite his sacrifices, Schindler received little recognition during his lifetime. He was, at times, a forgotten figure, a man who had risked everything but gained little for himself. Recognition and legacy. Schindler's story was revived in 1982 when Thomas Keneally published the novel Schindler's Ark, which chronicled his wartime efforts. The story reached global audiences in 1993 with Steven Spielberg's Academy Award-winning film Schindler's List, immortalizing his actions and bringing his legacy to light. In 1962, Schindler was honored by Yad Vashem, Israel's Holocaust memorial, as a righteous among the nations, an award given to non-Jews who risked their lives to save Jews during the Holocaust. He remains the only member of the Nazi Party to receive this distinction. Final resting place. Oskar Schindler died on October 9, 1974, in Hildesheim, Germany. At his request, he was buried in Jerusalem on Mount Zion, near the Old City. His grave, marked with stones left by visitors, is a testament to the lives he saved and the gratitude of the Jewish people. A hero's journey. Oskar Schindler's story is a remarkable tale of redemption. He began as a man driven by greed, yet he became a symbol of courage and compassion. His journey reminds us that even in the face of unimaginable evil, one person's actions can make a profound difference. By saving over 1,200 lives, Schindler proved that humanity's capacity for kindness can triumph over hate, leaving a legacy that continues to inspire the world.